Hello, hello. Oh, it's a bit loud. Hello, hello. How's it going? Happy Tuesday. Hey, Sapphire. Thanks for the hydrate smooth in a second. I'm going to drink coffee. I'm going to blatantly disregard that and drink coffee. Continue to drink coffee. At least until I run out of coffee. All right. What are we working on? This is going to be a short stream. I'm having to do it early just for scheduling conflicts. So we're gonna only go for a couple hours here, and we're doing it earlier than usual. Starship, not too bad. You're not too bad today. You're getting off work early all week. Ooh, nice. You just started playing Tunic a few minutes ago. How am I doing? I'm doing good, thanks. My lights aren't on. Let me fix that. Tunic's cool. I started playing that. I do not like Souls-likes, so I stopped playing it pretty quickly. But it's pretty cool. I don't even mind dying and losing my stuff, because I've been playing Arc Raiders a lot in the last week, and that's mostly just dying and losing all your stuff. There's something about the Souls-like style of you die, you drop all your stuff, and then you die again, and then it's gone forever. For some reason, that is so much more maddening to me. It, like, guarantees a rage quit for me. Whether I'm playing, like, Hollow Knight or, like, Elden Ring. I don't even know if that's in Tunic, but I remember Tunic being, like, a Souls-like, pretty clearly Souls-like. But yeah, if I die, drop all my stuff, and then I die again trying to go back and get it, that is instant rage quit. That's rage quit, turn the console off, go do something else. Like, whereas at least in Arc Raiders, I'm a little more generous, or I'm a little more forgiving. I'm like, well, easy come, easy go. It's not like I went to try to go get it back and then died. Like, few minutes, you're enjoying it so far. Get more of a Zelda feel from it. We'll see, we'll see. It is very Zelda-y. I do like the presentation of it. What are we doing today? Oh yeah, we're tweaking our tile set atlas format. I remember. So this will be interesting. All right, so we have some problems we need to address here. Here's one of the main problems we need to address. So you can kind of see it there for a second, but it's gone too soon. But you can look here at the corners. You see this corner, what's happening with the black outline in the corner? Where the deck wants to create a black outline, but the wall can't because the wall can't create partial outlines. And that's kind of what I want to address, essentially. This doesn't really feel like this is at the halfway point, you know what I'm saying? Is maybe our half cutaway like too high? Should it be actually half? I do feel like it's a little high, because we can't fully cut things away unless we're in this mode. Oh, here's a great example. So you can kind of see it on each side. You can see how it's like, it thickens up. It thickens up and then thins out and then thickens up. You can see that kind of. And it's because we can't handle the half block outline. Here we don't need to, but the reason we're doing that is because of this case. So I kind of want to switch to a different model, which was the suggestion of Ketu Dev, which was smart, which is, instead of the way we kind of do this now, which is like, here's the top block, this is the full wall, the entirety of the wall, then the mid block, which is like the lower half of the wall, and then the bottom block, which is like the sides of the floor panels. Instead, we could say, here's the lower half of the wall, and then up here is the upper half of the wall. And then we can, it would require drawing twice as many wall tiles, because right now we're just switching from the upper wall tile to the lower wall tile. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. All right, Dave, don't close A Sprite. It'll cause everything to go wrong. But yeah, I think I want to make this change. I think this is good. I thought I was going to just kind of finesse my way around having to deal with this, but I'm thinking it's maybe better to deal with it directly. So I have a block template file. So I want to update this block template file. So I think what I'll do is I'll just recreate it on this side, and then we'll delete the old one and keep the new one here, because the file itself doesn't change sizes, which is great, which means that a hull texture and a hull outline is just a 512 by 512 texture, which sounds a little big, but I don't think it is. So what we want to do, we're gonna, and I want to apologize. I'm gonna talk about this in the Discord, but there are gonna be very few streams this week. We're streaming today, and then I think I can stream again on Friday, but Saturday is both a, it's called, I'm going to an event called Playtesting and Pints, where I'm going to be showing some jam games. Like, I'll get a little half of a table at like a little booth at this barcade, which is fun. We have this whole game dev collective that goes out there and kind of takes over one Saturday a quarter. And it's nice because it seems to always be the third Saturday, which matches up with the Godot game dev meetup nearby. It's very close. It's like within walking distance. So Saturday's going to be awesome. It's going to be busy. I'm going to be doing that game dev event. And then, yeah, I've got 2 events on Saturday, so that's packed. And then tomorrow, I've got stuff I got to do, and Thursday, same. So I've just, this week is not working out for us, unfortunately. I might rename some stuff too, because I've got like bulk, full, bulk, half. I might rename everything to be a deck, like a portion of the deck. And I might use like low, mid, top or something like that. Just for naming conventions, maybe. I got to think about how I want to do that. But let's start by copying things over. And then editing. So yeah, busy week. Let's turn the grid on so I don't mess this up. Oh, Sapphire, you started working on the scene, the actual scene for your style guide. You have a working outline, taking form of an online shader, or taking from an online shader, maybe. Still not quite what you're going for, but it'll work for now. May work on the scene some more later today. Yeah, I'd love to see it when you're ready to share it. I'm very excited for the... Oh, I did this a little wrong. I'm very excited to see what your how your visual design evolves. I would love more time to work on the visual design of my game, but we gotta finish laying this important groundwork. I don't know what I'm doing. This has to be all the way over here. And in fact, it's probably better to start with the Y, because the Y is at least up against the edge, which is going to make it easier to measure. Yeah. Sapphire, thanks for the heads up. Good luck with the events. Yeah, thank you. It'll be nice to have kind of a quiet week. I don't know how much I'm going to get done. I've been feeling a bit of burnout, but it's not because of the game. It's because of like everything. It's like my day job. It's a lot of stuff. So I've just been dialing everything back a little bit because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Is this an opportunity to like change how I've ordered these things? I think it maybe is. I think I want the mid first and then the top. Well, maybe not. Top, mid. No. Okay. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, the only appropriate, I wouldn't say appropriate, but the only excusable time, you know, for me to be risking my health for the sake of game development would be during a game jam. If we're not in a game jam, it's really not a good idea. Some might argue it's never a good idea, but I'd say that's unrealistic. I mean, good idea, I guess, is a strong word. I feel no, I'm not going to say something clippable and controversial. I'm just saying when you're an individual working for yourself, it's really on you to determine what the appropriate use of your time is. Look at me being responsible on the internet as a public figure, as an obscure public figure. I don't know why I'm copying these over. I'm going to need to change these, but it's okay. Okay. I've actually got what I should do is I should confirm that we're happy with the size of these things. So if I took like one of these, Rhiannon Journey subscribing with Prime. Thank you so much, Rhiannon Journey. How are you doing? Happy Tuesday. So if I took this and I copied this and then I flipped it, copy, paste, flip, flip, and then I deactivated the cut. Oh, that didn't help very much. So what's the distance here? So this is 12 pixels. What's the distance here? 13 pixels. Oh no, I gotta measure from here. Okay, so this is half. We are cutting it in half. It's just maybe an illusion that it's not. Oh, this radio station is not correct. So insane. Here we go. Scam Train by Harris Heller. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Choo choo. All aboard the scam train. I have to like this song just for the title. You're doing okay. You tired start to the week. That is the norm the older you get. Yeah, same. I tried to wake up early for work. I couldn't do it. I went to sleep at like 11 and I couldn't wake up at 7. I was like, I got up at like 7:30 or something. I was like, damn. I feel like I was catching up on sleep. I've maybe had a few too many late nights playing Arc Raiders the last week. It's really good. It's really fun. I know Smooth in a second would back me up on that. He's here. He might be busy in an Arc Raid though. Rhiannon, you keep meaning to wake up early to work on your game before work. You can't do it. You can only stay up late. You finally figured out how to set up the tile set you wanted with terrains for auto-tiling. It wasn't set up in the standard 47 tile blob you're used to, but you got it working now. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I've tried that too. I've tried the late night. I've tried the late night style. That doesn't work for me either. I start to immediately after dinner, my whole body starts to shut down. Like I can maybe play a video game or like watch a movie or something, but I cannot do real work after dinner. Originally, when I first started streaming, we were streaming in the morning. I would stream from like 6 a.m. till like 10. Well, not 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. The window that I had was like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I'd try to wake up as early as I could, make breakfast, sit down, get a couple hours of streaming done, I think, and then go to work. I'm much happier with this new time slot I have, which is like I'm off work 10 to 2. So usually I get off around 10. I do some stuff. I start the stream up. A lot of times you might notice that's shifted a little later to like 11 to 3, but there's flexibility in there. And yeah, I'm more of like I honestly think I do my best work in the morning, but just before lunch is my second best time. I think after lunch, I'm a little too tired, but like this time, like after breakfast and before lunch, I'm a brunch time game dev. That's me. I'm a brunch time game dev. All right, so what I need to do, I actually don't want these layers. Do I want to make new layers or do I just want to rename these layers? Probably the latter. I should make a coffee cup or something or a teacup or something that just says like brunch time game dev. BTGD. I know these times are only relative to me, and for other people, they're like, what do you mean? It's like 3 o'clock. Or like, what do you mean? It's like 11 at night. But yeah, I'm a Pacific time. Pacifically, I'm a Pacific time person. PST, GMT -8? GMT -8? UCT? What's the difference between GMT and UCT? Like, what's Universal Coordinated Time? I don't know. I could Google it. Sapphire, 2 p.m. for you? Nice, nice. Nice. Yeah, I do notice, like, when I'm streaming from, like, 2 to 3, when I'm going a little long, I feel like I get an influx of, like, East Coasters who've just gotten off of work, which I think is cool. All right. I'm not being very productive right now. Let's try to fix that. What would be the best way to do this? I think what I actually want to do is I want to delete this. I want to delete this. And I want to delete this. What I actually want to do is take this, copy this. This is on this layer. This layer. This. Paste it here. Move it up. Put it in the right spot, which is 2 pixels down from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is 2 pixels from the bottom. This should be pretty easy to change because we're basically just taking the lower part and putting it... Excuse me, putting it up. Yeah, because we're replacing these full walls with upper half walls. That's what we're doing right now. In case I wasn't clear. Yeah, I think I kind of want to stop using the term bulk to refer to deck sections that are walls. I know that's like consistent with quote-unquote Navy terminology, but I'm finding it less and less useful. I think I would like to just refer to all of the pieces of the hull as like decks. Or I could just say hull. I could say hull. Well, I could say hull deck or something. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to say hull because it would be top, mid, and low or something like that. But that would be per deck. So maybe I say deck, top, mid, low. So like upper half of the wall is the... Yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. Terminology is confusing no matter how you do it. Figure it out though. All right, so that's what the new structure is going to look like. It's going to be these half cuts. Okay. Rhiannon, you can be exhausted and fighting, falling asleep all day, and then 10 p.m. rolls around, your body suddenly wants to stay up until 2 to 4 a.m. Yeah, my partner is a lot more like that. They'll stay up all night working on stuff. I can't. I have to just give up, go to sleep, and try again the next morning. That's how I gotta do it. Sapphire, you're not doing bad. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. You just started playing Tunic. Yeah, give me your thoughts on Tunic as you get into it. I think I played that for like an hour, maybe 2. I want to go back to it a little bit. I also want to go back to the other one. What was the other one? It's called like Death's Door. I also want to play Death's Door. That kind of also looks like Tunic. I like those cute little pseudo-isometric 3D kind of games. I love their look. I really dig the look. All right, so what are we going to do? We'll copy everything else over. Oh, maybe I do need to still call it bulk. I wonder if there's some different ways I could organize this. Yeah, I was supposed to be at a co-working session last night, like an online co-working session. I didn't feel like working. I just played Arc Raiders. I'm gonna try again tonight. Try to do better tonight. I have a change I want to make to mini delivery. Oh wait, I don't need to do that. I want to try to like enable camera control so you can have proper twin stick controls in that game. To make it more fun to control on like a Steam Deck or something. I think I might take that with me to the showcase. People seem to like it. But I'm more interested in seeing how people like the Grave Escape. This one. This one. Maybe we won't change any of the terminology for now. Okay, that should be literally all we have to do from a tile set atlas standpoint. Arguably, we could use this. Well, no, we can't. We can't. Arguably nothing. Okay, we canvas size it back like this. You love pseudo-isometric type games? I feel like I could have interpreted that so innocently, but that statement feels like it's so dripping with like sardonic. Like, that feels just like a deeply sardonic statement in context. That could have just been like, oh, you love pseudo-isometric type games? Cool. No, that's not. I don't think that's how you said that. You're not wrong though. You're not wrong though. Like, I managed to somehow, even though I made a 3D game for the Grave Escape, with the Grave Escape, it's still like a pseudo-isometric. Technically, that one's quote-unquote side-on from an isometric standpoint. Like, it is isometric, but it isn't side. It's not like diamond down or the diamond-shaped isometric. It's like squared off. But yeah. I think we're gonna end up making like an isometric gameplay game jam template. I got it. Yeah, okay. I figured out that was the interpretation. Sapphire Tunic is def reminding you a lot of Zelda so far. You do like the art style and the feel of the game. It feels neat. It has such a sense of mystery, and all the characters are like very adorable. Okay, we don't export this because we don't. So what I need to do is I need to change a number of other files to align with this. But I think that's like most of what I have to do. Can we just change this file and like be done? If I change this file, is that sufficient? I need to see the grid, or I'm not going to be able to do this. Yeah, I think this is actually quite an easy change to make. I think we might even be able to just do this whole change today. I didn't edit the YouTube video description for this episode, so it's not actually, that's fine. Who cares? Who cares? I guess we are technically making this change for the purpose of fixing the autotiler, so, you know, I think it's fine. What are you working on today? So we're gonna address some core problems with the way the autotiler works by we're changing what we did before. The way it worked before is when you would do a cutaway, the autotiler would switch from the full wall to the half wall. And so it would switch from drawing the full wall to the half wall. But with our new format, that means we can't do half wall outlines, at least for the top half. Technically, we could do a half wall outline for the bottom half. So instead of having it switch from the full wall to the half wall, instead, we're just splitting it. So the auto tiler will always draw both the upper part of the wall and the lower part of the wall unless the cutaway tells it to skip one of them. So it simplifies a lot of our problems, and someone actually suggested that we do this like a week ago, and I was like, nah, I don't think we need to do that, but we're going back and we're doing it, so. Thanks, Cat2 Dev, for that one. That was a good suggestion. At first, I thought I could design my way around this limitation, and then I was like, why? Why bother? If we can actually properly fix it, why try to design around it? Get rid of that. So we're going to try to make that change today. It involves rendering. It involves adding another set of tile map layers, which is a little costly, but I don't think it's that costly. So far, the auto tiling has been like the cheapest thing we've been doing, so I'm not terribly concerned about that. I'm sure we'll reach a point where we start to be concerned about it, but if we have to, we can just give the system like another frame or two to do its job. That's not ideal. I would like to avoid that if possible, but because then if we do that, then we'd have to start queuing player input, which I would rather not do, like over multiple frames, and then execute the queued input, which we'd be at risk of having to execute multiple inputs in one frame, which I would rather not do, but we'll see. We'll see what we end up with. All right, so that's the new tile set. I can do the other ones later because we don't actually use those for anything. I don't think that actually changes anything in the tile set atlas itself, but I will confirm that. Oh no, a spam bot. Whatever will we do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to blast them. Random Journey.
Dead, Jim.
He is. Random Journey makes sense, especially on something so early in the game dev. Better to fix it properly now than try to do it much later for some other reason. Yeah. Especially since so far our game is all about edge cases. All right, so let's look at the tile set atlas. I'm pretty sure the tile set atlas will continue to just work. Yeah, like I don't think... Oh, Okay, so it's a little bit different. A little bit different. We could address this a couple of ways. I'm actually kind of okay keeping it like this. Because right now they're part of the same tile atlas set. We're not like splitting them, which I think is fine. I have to think about that for a second. Whether we want to have a separate resource for the upper part of the wall and the lower part of the wall. It's a little silly, but we could do it. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. All right, I can't run this yet. This won't run. What I need to do is I need to look more closely about how I want to organize this. So we are going to need to increase the number of tile layers. So instead of 7 tile layers per level, we're going to need 10. Which is simple in a way. We'll probably eventually have more. I'll probably add an 11th layer for like decoration or something. I don't know. Actually, I might add a few more layers for decoration. So we need 10 layers, which is a little much, but that's what we're going to need. So I need to alter these scenes. So this scene, I need to alter this level. So this is a hull level that it inherits from you. You don't have any information, so it's this. So hull level. So right now we have deck layer X, deck layer Y, or deck layer Z, and then we have bulk layer. So now we need to start distinguishing. Kind of want to rename hull level to like deck level, and then have like top, or like low, mid, and then like top, and then like door, I guess. So I could rename this. Well, this inherits from something, so I could rename this to like low layer. Kind of want to rename the file if I do that. I don't like the deck and bulk terminology. I think it's like super confusing. Where is this file? Show in file system. Okay. And so we could rename this like low layer X. I don't want to rename this too. Oh no, this is just a tile level. It's not. I want to rename this. I want to find this in the file system. How do I do that? Show in file system. So I'm going to rename this deck level. Is there a reason? Do you have like visibility information? Maybe. How about you? There's bulk layer you inherit from hull layer. I'm gonna rename this to tile layer. I'm gonna find this in the file system. So I can use this for any. Oh, wait, what do you inherit from? Map tile layer dot scene. Oh, did I do this wrong? Tile layer. Where's this map tile layer thing coming from? Okay, maybe this one is actually going to be called hull layer. Maybe it is correct. Call this hull layer. All right, we're refactoring. We're refactoring here, which is like our favorite thing to do. Hey, Mr. Magoo, what's up? How's it going? Happy Tuesday. So we're going to call this mid. In fact, there is an open question about how we want to handle the Z indexing between these, whether we need to introduce an actual gap between them. I think we might. I don't know if I love my decision with the terminology here, but this is what we're going to do for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate these, and then these are going to become the top layer. And it's an open question of whether we need to introduce some Z indexing to differentiate the middle from the top. All right, so three more tile map layers, 10 total per level. I kind of want to rename this stuff, but that would involve a lot more effort, so we're not going to do it. We're just going to go with this for now. Right now, they refer to the same tile set atlas sources, which I think is fine, but I actually maybe want to do it a little differently. I don't actually know if I need to do this, but I kind of want to. So we're going to say deck layer low X, deck layer low Y, low Z. And then we're going to duplicate these. Can I actually duplicate a resource like this? Oh, I need to do it like this. Okay, so it would be deck layer, let's say mid. Duplicate this. Mid. Decidedly mid. I like this naming convention because now they're alphabetically sorted in the same way that they're Z indexed, which is like such a minor thing, but you know, organizationally it feels good. Oh, that I was not supposed to do what I just did, and now I can't undo it. Well, rip. Duplicate, deck layer, top, rename. I'm going to differentiate these because someday it might matter. Someday we might care. All right, now here we go. So we got this. That's fine. Fine. This is not fine. Changing all of these is going to be a pain. Should be easy though. So what we do for the mids, what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to introduce an offset. You know, it's probably easier to just do this from scratch than to do it like this, but probably easier. Definitely more error prone, but probably easier. You know, I don't need to do this. Here, this is how we're going to do it. This is arguably slower than recreating it, but it's a lot less mental effort. It'd be really nice if I could delete a whole region, but this doesn't seem to be the way I'm allowed. And also, if I right-click this, delete doesn't actually do anything, which is deeply upsetting. I don't know if I can do this for all of these. I think this would drive me insane. I might need to just recreate these. Yeah, I might recreate these. Or do I just leave them? Do I just leave them alone? Because the mid and the top could actually share tile set atlas sources. I just don't want to do it that way. Here's what we're going to do. These are all going to get deleted. Where are the dependencies? They're there. That's fine. I can correct for that. What we could do could we do here? Oh no, is one of the ones I actually kept one of the ones I ruined? No. Okay. I actually think we could keep these. Also, this should include... Oh, maybe not. Okay, I actually see an argument for why we would do it this way. This is weird. I actually think I can copy these 3 tile sets and then manipulate them to create the other 6. Should be a lot easier than just remaking 6 of them from scratch. I'm gonna just clean this one up and then try it. Yeah, let's see if this is doable here. So what if I duplicated this one? Oh, we need to fix the overlay texture. That's fine. That's fine. We don't have to do it right now. So what if I recreated mid-X, then I took this, and then I went in here and I just corrected, I just shifted all of these around. So what if we said it's 32 tall, and then it had a 256. Oh, 256 is wrong. How? 32, 64, 192? Is that right? 1, 2. You can't, it doesn't show you pixels per se here, but this looks about right. Okay, yeah, that was easy. All right, let's do it like this. This is easy. I do need to change the offsets for all of these, though. Maybe. Maybe not. So this should be -8, and then this should be -10 or 10. Yeah, okay, so I do need to recreate the offsets, but otherwise, this is actually pretty straightforward. 92, 32, go in here, 10. Okay, we're cooking. Oh, we're heading into ads. You know, I think we can pretty much do this today. I think we're on track to getting this done today. And we can do something else on Friday. Again, I'm not going to be able to stream very much this week. We're streaming today. And we're streaming Friday. But I've just got a bunch of scheduling stuff that is making it tough this week. But that's okay. It'll be nice to have a bit of a cheat week here. All the more time to play Arc Raiders, you know what I'm saying? No, I got stuff I gotta do. How are you? I'm doing all right, Mr. Margot. How are you doing? All right, we're just cruising through these. This will be good. All right, one down. Whoa. Look at this. Do you see how the mouse is being fractally wrapped? That's kind of fun. I didn't know that's how that worked. Kind of neat. It treats this window, the mouse having a position in the window, and then if I move the window around like this, it's like fractally wrapping the mouse. It's kind of fun. I wonder if all their pop-up window style things work like that. Tough 2 days, but grinding by. That's what you got to do. Grind on. Not that I'm like a grind set person. Far from it. I believe it's a marathon and you got to go. You got to go at a sustainable pace. But at the same time, you got to, you know, don't let the dragon drag on. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else getting snow yet? You just started getting snowed on yesterday? Ooh, that's nice. We are having unseasonably warm weather down here. The last couple days, it's been like 75, 76 in the apartment here. It has been warm. It's been sunny outside and everything. I'm like, where's my fall cold weather? Haven't been getting it. Not that it ever snows here or anything crazy. That would be nuts. But I would normally expect colder weather than we've been getting. I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate warm weather. I could have had a beach day like the other day. I could have just gone down to the beach. It was like perfect weather. Crazy to be thinking about going to the beach in like mid-November. I wouldn't mind some cozy, cold fall weather, though. I have an easier time when it's cold out because it's easier for me to like warm up the apartment and like keep myself warm and stuff. It's a lot harder to cool off. Nobody in San Francisco has like an air conditioning unit. All right, that's that one. That layer's done. This layer should be relatively easy. It never snowed where you were when you lived in Oregon either. Hey, Nix, only here to save your watch streak. All right, I understand. Deck layer mid Z, so it's actually this one. Actually, no, it's not. I was wrong. Deck layer mid Z. No, I was right. I was right. Gotta offset it. I think that's all I have to do. 384? Is that off by 2? That looks dead on. 768? I'm getting really good at like multiples of 256 over here. Oh, this is... Oh, what the heck? I thought I corrected for this. I don't want to. All right, watch streak saved. All right, take it easy. There's not gonna be a lot of streams this week. Next, I'll be next streaming on Friday. We're missing a lot of streams this week, just for scheduling reasons and stuff. So take it easy. I'll see you when I see you. Oh, this is annoying. I'm probably gonna just delete this layer and then redo it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do all this tedious work twice. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Oh, there's another one. All right, that's right. Now we can duplicate this correctly. Yeah, I went to Portland once during the winter, and it snowed, like, a lot, and no one knew what to do. It's like the memes where, like, a bus is, like, sliding backwards down a hill because the roads are so icy, like... It like rains there all the time, but I don't know if people know how to deal with snow. I mean, not that I know what to do in snow either. It was just funny. Okay, wait. I just deleted this and then recreate. What the heck? Delete. Duplicate. Okay. Open this. What in the heck is going on? It's like caching this file and it's not letting me actually delete it. That's pretty annoying. I don't know how to actually tell it to delete the file. You know what it probably is? I should probably open it in external. I should show it in the file manager. Maybe there's some kind of... No? I don't know what to do about that. I guess I'll just fix it. That's kind of annoying. Whatever. We're not being that efficient anyway. Could probably close the engine and reopen it or something. Would probably be fine, but I don't think I care enough. Easy enough to just fix this. Although, you know, I specifically did it, the thing in the order that I did it, so that I wouldn't have to do this twice. But thanks, Godot. Thanks for... I mean, I'm sure there's situations where I've accidentally deleted a resource and then tried to recreate it, and I've been very lucky that the engine caches things. Oh, this is also... What the heck is going on here? So weird. All right, that's correct. What about this one? Is this one correct? That's correct. That's correct. This is... Oh, what the... I'm kind of annoyed. I don't know what the engine is doing, but it's messing with me here. Being kind of rude. I should probably try to work to understand why and how the engine does what it does, but what I actually want to do is just ignore it. Okay, what's between 512 and 768? 512 plus 128. 630, 640. 640. There we go. $892, $896. There we go. Sapphire, there are plenty of places in Oregon that snow a lot, in the mountains specifically, but not where you were. You lived in the valley. Probably an hour and a half away from Portland. For sure. Rhiannon Journey, you grew up in the Midwest with big snowstorms, and then you moved to South Carolina a couple of years after high school. It snowed like 1/4 inch one year, and everything shut down. You didn't understand how everyone was so unprepared. Yeah, I could feel that. Sapphire, you did like the opposite. Yeah. That's funny. Everyone's heard of the mythical snow day, quote unquote snow day. I definitely didn't grow up somewhere. The last time it snowed in my hometown was like in the 70s. And there were like newspaper clippings and like photos. And when it says snow, it was like maybe an inch, maybe half an inch. It was one of those wild flukes of nature. One of those quote unquote storms of the century that seem to happen every 4 years now. 128. 384. I have to put in some kind of offset here, don't I? Yeah, I do. 640. 896. Right? Yeah. All right, now what we need is an offset. Offset is, for the mids, should be 12. I think. We'll find out. You live in NY State now. You get a lot of lake effect snow. That sounds crazy. The lake effect stuff is crazy. I've definitely seen pictures of like Chicago area that's like it looks like the day after tomorrow, like that apocalypse like film, or like disaster film. Crazy. It just looks like a frozen wasteland sometimes. Lake effect is crazy. All right, we did it. All right, one more layer. Please remember all the things we did before. You know, I probably should have... Oh my god. So now I did this, and now if I delete this, the Godot engine will remember it, and if I try to recreate it again, it will just give me this again. I don't know how to tell it not to do that. So we're just committed. At least we can just say 0, 32, 10. Zero, 32. This isn't that bad. It's just I could have done a version of this with even less manual adjustment. 0, 32, 10. Sapphire, like the picture of people after a blizzard where people are on top of the snow touching the traffic lights. Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, when the first few times, I honestly didn't even see snow until I was like, I think I'd just become like a teenager. Like I must have been like 13 or something like that. Maybe I was 12, but I hadn't seen snow as like a young child. And like, then we started visiting some friends of ours in like the Tahoe area. Trekkie. And it was crazy, but I didn't really understand it until we came back like a few years later and then visited them in the summer. And I realized how high up their house was above the ground. Because when you go and you're always visiting the snow, you're just like, wow, people build their houses like high up, huh? And then you go in the summer and you're like, oh, there was like 7 feet of snow, like, or like 8 or 9 feet of snow above the ground. It was crazy. It's crazy to see that and understand. Because, yeah, without the context of knowing what it looks like the rest of the year, it just seemed normal. And then I was like, oh. You had to, like, build around this reality where you got, like, 8 or 9 feet of snow every year or something. Crazy. Ran a journey. You never had that much snow at home, but you'd go visit family in Minnesota, and you went up to a blizzard one year. You got to experience the once. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would enjoy living in a snowy place. Like it's picturesque and beautiful, right? But it's like I think the practicalities of actually being there are probably tough. so I don't know. I do like rain and gray. Like I see myself in the Pacific Northwest in the future. I'm way less into like the kind of LA weather, which we are just getting more and more every year. I call it the LAification of California. We're just everywhere along the coast is becoming like SoCal. San Francisco used to be very different. I mean, we are still pretty different in terms of weather, but it's like it's a lot different than when it was even when I moved here, just like whenever that was. 16, 17 years ago. Huge change, even just since then. All right, that looks correct. Give you gray skies and rain and you're a happy girl. Yeah, I like that a lot. Gray skies and rain. A good tornado to watch. Yeah, I don't know about that part. I don't think I've ever seen a tornado. We don't get those here. Our flavor of natural disaster here is pretty much earthquakes and wildfires. That's pretty much all we got here. But we got them big, you know. Starship, question. I might not know the answer since I don't do much 3D. Should happen to be a way to auto-apply a material override to a mesh instance when importing models. Getting slightly annoying having to go in and apply it to all of them every time you're updating a model. I haven't had to do that, but that's because, like, I don't mess with I haven't done a lot of 3D model import shenanigans because I just kind of take what I get. But speaking of shenanigans, Diginanigan probably knows because Diginanigan's written their own like Godot model importer plugin pipeline thing. So I would ask on the Discord because I think Diginanigans would probably know how to do that. Oh yeah, or Rianne Journey. But yeah, if you ever have issues like workflow issues like that, just throw it in like the troubleshooting channel. Somebody knows. I'll try to answer myself or I'll try to loop in someone that I'm pretty sure knows. All All right, that's that. So this one, last layer. All right. Top Z. ZZ top, one might say. That one probably wouldn't, but one might. All right, and then so this one has an offset of 24. He says super confidently. All right, cool. So we've got the extra layers. What we need to do now is we need to go back into our scenes, the scene that these all inherit from, and set the tile atlas. Low, 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 mid. Oh, this is cached to something. Bulk layer. Oh, I was like, why can't I see the scene thing? It's because I had that maximized. We go, stupid VBE, still VBEing. Rhiannon, your older brother and you would always go storm chasing. Your mom would let us go, but would ask if you were right with God first. Yeah, I would pour out a libation to Zeus before storm chasing myself, or Thor or something. One of the sky gods. Baal. Maybe all of them. Baal Hammon. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. You'd ask here first since you're here now. Oh, yeah, for sure. We offer immediate responses here. They're just not usually very thoughtful, you know? All right, mid X. That's looking correct. Mid. Yeah, this stuff is cached. That's so weird. Mid Y. Mid Z. Top X. And quick load is such a nice thing. Quick load. Top Y. Top Z. All right, okay, we've got a lot. So we've got, let's just give it a quick. So we've got editor block textures, input overlay textures, select overlay textures. Probably want some kind of status one eventually, or atmosphere. Yeah, it's a little rough. We basically, for every new set we want, if we support eight decks, that's 80 tile map layers a deck, times 2, one for the texture, one for the outline. And then right now we've got 6. So we've got about 1,000 tile map layers. But there's not much memory overhead for them because they use like a dictionary. So there doesn't seem to be much memory overhead for just having a tile map layer. That said, we're starting to get up into territory that I'm feeling kind of uncomfortable. But they say don't don't go by your intuition when you're measuring performance or thinking about that stuff. You got to measure it. And the measurement so far is that tile mapping is just almost totally negligible. And it actually seems to become more negligible the smaller, like the more discrete and specialized each tile map layer is, because each one then is very rarely getting set. And when it is, it's only setting a few pieces. So it seems like we're doing okay, but eventually I might want to come up with some kind of optimization there. We might need to end up adding like a hard limit in terms of the number of levels we support. I mean, right now it's 8. Probably eventually be something like 9. I don't know. I guess an even number is good. Eight is fine, I guess. I think it'll always start at 0. And then as you move, you add more either above or below. It'll move it around so that 0 is somewhere in the middle. Or no, 0 is always the top. What am I talking about? So 0 would just keep moving up and always be at the top. And then you would go down. You could go down at most 7 layers below 0. And by below, we'd start to count up. It's so confusing. Deck numbering is so confusing. But it's in line with the Godot 2D measurement system with Y faces down. The enemy's gate is down. That's an easy way to remember how Godot 2D works. Godot 3D does not work that way. I learned that the hard way when I created a opposite-handed system within Godot's 3D system. I had to convert between them. That was stupid. Gotta go soon. Well, take it easy, Magoo. We're not streaming very much this week. We got a lot going on, but I will be back Friday, so hopefully I can catch you then. But yeah, take it easy. Have a good week. All right, so what do we need to do? What else do we need to do? So we increase this number. The overlay source ID index is still 4. The reserved source ID count is still 6. So we haven't actually changed anything about the IDs. Is the format different? No, the format shouldn't have changed at all. Let's just double check that that's true. I should have the default format open here. X tiles across 8, X tiles down 6. Y tiles 8, 6. Okay, yeah. So that's all good. There's a bunch of stuff. So we're going to also need to build some additional... Some stuff doesn't matter, I think. Man, I don't like what we've done here. I have to decide what needs to change for the bulk. I also need to add new tile layer types. Yeah, there's actually a lot that needs to change to support this refactor. Okay, that's fine. We'll do what we can today. We'll probably pick it up Friday. Maybe I'll tinker with it between then. Maybe I won't. Yeah, because the layers, we got deck X. So this would be like deck low X, deck low Y, low Z. And then instead of bulk, we'd start having, because now we've got upper and lower bulk and we're treating them separately. But maybe we're not. Maybe semantically, the bulk is just treated by itself. I don't know. It depends on if we want to have like, maybe there's stuff we have that only exists on like one of those layers. Because a lot of stuff is going to take up both, but I can imagine stuff that only takes up one, like hanging wires, or like like a computer console, or like yeah, I don't know. I'll have to decide if I want to actually organizationally make that distinction or if this is just a rendering distinction. For the moment, I'm going to keep it as just a rendering distinction, I think. But there's still a lot that needs to change here. What we should do is fix the rest of these tile sets. There's at least one more we need to fix. Technically, there's two more, but I could skip one of them for now. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just do it since we don't really have much else we're doing. Overlay block. Ooh, that's bright. Not really much I can do with that. So what we want to do here is we just disable the snap, but I do want to see the grid. There we go. Get rid of that. Take this. Copy it onto this layer, move it up. Like that. Bit of empty space here. Honestly, we could probably get rid of the empty space, but I don't know if we'd actually save anything by doing that. It's kind of simpler to do it like this. Kinda. Not actually. It would actually probably be better to move these to be just taking up. We could actually reduce the storage size of this a lot, huh? Do I want to do that? The thing is, I don't think we'd be able to get it down to another power of 2. Because this essentially takes an extra 16 pixels tall 12 times. If we got rid of that, what would that save us? 16 times 12. 192. Yeah, that's not sufficient savings. What else could we save? We could save another 16, but that's still 208. We need to find more savings for this to make sense. So I think for now, organizing it this way is fine. So what is this? This is 32. So we technically need 96 times 3. 96 times 3 plus 32. Yeah, 320. That's an awkward number. So I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. Unless I can reimagine how we pack this in. Hey, Arneo! Your NPC ships have been chasing you all afternoon. You're super hyped about it? You don't think you'll be able to sleep? Oh. That's exciting. Yeah, big breakthrough like that can be super exciting. Hey, Hex to start. How's it going? Happy Tuesday. Did I see you say you're taking up Godot? Or something? You posted something about it. How are you doing? How's post-jam life? Put this on the wrong layer. I always do that. Wrong layer Dave. That's what they call me. You know what we could do? We could just have... Here's an idea. Instead of having a whole extra set of tile map layers, one for the upper half of the wall and one for the lower half of the wall, we could still have just one tile map layer for the wall. And then tile set, we have both the upper half and the lower half and the whole wall in the image. So we have the full image and then we have the two cuts of it. How much would that space take up though? That would take up a lot. That would take up an extra 192 tall. And in that case, I actually couldn't shrink these anymore. It would be this size times 3. I don't think that's worth it. That would be like if we want to optimize for number of tile map layers at the cost of bigger tile set atlas sources. It's pretty good so far. There's some things you're missing, but overall you're positively surprised. Yeah, Godot is dope. I'm really glad I've taken the opportunity for a lot of game jams, the ones that I'm allowed to use like art assets for. I always take the opportunity during those to do 3D, because normally I wouldn't do 3D. But I'm glad I've been dabbling in that in the engine. If that would end up being like 600 pixels or whatever. Yeah, we'll do this for now. We'll do this for now. We might actually split these up a little more. So maybe we have the wall just be its own thing. So it'd be 352 plus 32. That's not better. I think this is the best we can do for now. I'm okay with it. But yeah, Hex, there's no Godoting back now. I have to rename all these layers. These names don't make sense anymore. I'm not gonna do it right now though. Alright, that's it for the overlay here. Pop that out. I'm gonna forget about the defaults. We're gonna do the defaults another day because, well, maybe we won't. Maybe we will. I'm not sure. The defaults are gonna be annoying, so maybe I will do those later. We don't use them for anything. Hex, you're still opening up Unity Hub out of habit and sit there for 5 seconds confused searching for your project. Oh, Unity Hub opens that quickly nowadays? I kid, mostly. Do you miss domain reloading? Every time you make a script change? Yeah, someone did the math in terms of like engine hierarchy. And it's kind of funny because you can fit about 50 Unity, or you can fit about 50 Godot installs in each install of Unity. And then you can fit about 50 Unity installs in each install of Unreal. Pretty good. So yeah, welcome to the sub 100 megabyte engine or whatever. Crazy. Good times. It definitely feels very different. I know I had a weird adjustment period switching from Unity, but you know, I've been in Godot for a couple of years now, and I can't imagine going back to anything. There's a world I could have probably picked up Game Maker instead, but I actually think the fact that I used Unity meant the transition to Godot was a lot easier than something totally different like Game Maker or Love 2D or something else I could have been using. X, to be honest, domain reloading was pretty quick for you, but you used a shit ton of assembly definitions. I'm sure that helps. Yeah, I never optimized that, so at a certain point I just dreaded changing the code. I'm like, although if you use Unity dots, the dots ECS stuff, you could actually disable some of that stuff. So it wasn't that bad because I was kind of a weirdo and I was picking up that stuff a lot more than anything else. But welcome to the light side. Your redemption is complete. You do stick with .NET for Godot, though. That's fair. That's what we're doing right now. There's nothing wrong with it until you go to, make a web export. You hope WebGL catches up? Yeah, exactly. I think it's good. We saw a live, a Hello World demo at GodotCon earlier this year that was Adam Scott running a web version of Godot.net. It was experimental, but I wouldn't be surprised if they get it into the next major version. I hope that's the plan. This one, yeah, live from Godot Boston. Yeah, exactly. I didn't see that talk itself. I think I was at a Dunkin' Donuts at the time. I was probably in another talk, honestly, but yeah, it's promising. I think it's coming soon. I don't think there's a long wait. All right, we don't have a lot of time remaining. Maybe I do just fix the other file right now, just to save us the trouble of having to do it later. Oh, that's so hard to look at. So what happens? So these are shared, but are they the same? Oh, they are. So if I just took one of these and copied it, I don't think you went into the reasons why you switched. You certainly don't have to tell me, but I'd be curious. Ooh, these do match. That is convenient. That is very convenient. This actually might be a lot easier to switch than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a real pain in the butt to deal with the checkerboarding, but it actually looks like it's going to be super easy and barely an inconvenience. X, the number one reason to switch was not being tied to technology that you can lose access to on somebody's whim, because you did enjoy Unity as tech. Oh yeah, no, I feel that. I like the Unity engine. I like the people that work on the Unity engine. I was really interested in the stuff that was being done in the dots in the data-oriented tech stack. But yeah, I also switched for lack of trust, business reasons. Yeah, they lost my trust and they can't. There's nothing they could do to get it back. Even just the governance structure of the Godot Foundation is so much better than Unity. They literally can't take the engine from you. I mean, they could stop supporting whatever fork you used or whatever of it, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's hard. It's the foundation on which you build everything else, right? So it's like, if you can't trust the foundation, how do you build on an unsteady foundation? The answer is you don't. You don't build a house in a liquefaction zone. There's a lot of people that have built houses in liquefaction zones in the Bay Area. Don't tell them. Did I put this on the right layer? I did not. I never do. I never put anything on the right layer. Wrong layer Dave strikes again. Likes to start. It sucks to build your tools on top of something for years and then lose that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have stayed on Godot or on Unity 2021 or whatever forever. They're just never upgraded. And then they come out, and then they announce those like crazy weird engine exploits, and you're like, oh. I think they did patch those in old versions of the engine still, but it's like, yeah. Not having a tech you can trust is a problem. Huge problem. Yeah, we're definitely rebuilding. I've definitely been rebuilding all of my tools. Right layer this time? All right, got it. Got it this time. Yeah, they can still just revoke your personal license if they want to, even if you stuck with an old version. True. Crazy. Crazy stuff. At least with like Unreal, you know the engine is so big and you're such a small fish, like there's no reason they would care about you. But like, I don't know, Unity was crazy. The decisions they made in the fall of 2023 are this stuff they'll never live down. Their whole, they could cycle their whole senior leadership team, but I don't think anyone will ever believe them ever again. People had already started switching to Godot in large numbers, but when that happened, the Godot install base doubled and continues to double. So it worked out, I guess, in a way. Rhiannon, for some reason, Unity never clicked for you, whereas Godot clicked instantly. Yeah, I like the organization. The Godot scene tree is way better than the Unity architecture. It's hard to get used to at first, but it's so better. You're not saying they'd go after you personally, but make a policy change or literally go under it. Yeah. No, they wouldn't go after you personally. They decided they were like, you know where we're gonna make, you know where we're not extracting the value from? Indies. It's like, what? Steam does the same thing. Steam would be way better off if they like inverted their pricing structure. Because right now you pay Steam less the more money you make, right? That should be reversed, right? The only reason they do that is to keep Ubisoft from like making their own storefront, which they tried to do and failed, so I don't think they actually need to do that, but they should subsidize indie dev. It's better for them in the long run. All the platforms, the engines, the platforms, everything. Some of them do, some of them don't. Unity just really hates Dave for some reason. Yeah. I never even got to... I live in the same city as the Unity offices, and I never got to go in there. I hadn't become a world-famous streamer yet until after I dropped Unity. That's the problem. But yeah, there's cool people in that ecosystem. There's great people in the community there. Like Turbo Makes Games is great. There's lots of great people involved. All the contributors were great. I never had a problem with any of them. It's the business people. It's all the biz dev people. It's always the MBAs you gotta watch out for, right? But that's true everywhere you go. That's not like a Unity specific problem. That's like a private equity problem. And not even just a private equity problem. It's not like public companies don't do the same thing. It's all bad. That's why the Godot Foundation is so great. They create a firewall between their for-profit interests like W4 Games and the engine itself. And that's what you want to see. Thomas from MySpace. Thank you. Is that you, Tom? It's been a while. High rollers pay smaller seam cut? Yes. It is the opposite how it should work, but yes. I think only on the Apple Store is it correct, where like the smaller you are, the less you have to pay. It's like 15% for indies or something, indies quote unquote, and then it grows to 30%. But I think they did that for like antitrust reasons or something. Arneo, you were between Unity and Godot when you started. Godot is just less intimidating, but you're starting to feel more and more happy with the choice. Oh, it's a choice that pays off every day. Like we talked about the difference between like the prefab scene architecture kind of thing that like Unity and like Unreal uses and stuff versus everything's a scene and a node. The scene node architecture of Godot is so smart. It is so good and it solves so many problems. All right. I just closed Sprite. Okay, that was scary. The last few times I've done that, it's caused my display driver to crash. And I did it on instinct. All right, let's look at the engine. Let's see if all of those textures updated. No, they didn't. Suspicious. Why didn't that work? Oh, do I not call it that? Default block PNG file tile set. No, that is what I call it. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. All good. All right, we've updated our whole tile set atlas source thing. Oh, I exported this with the background still on. Oopsies. Classic mistake. Look at that, the Godot scene explanation clip. Strange, spicy axe. No, I think Diginanigans would be able to tell you. Because, again, they wrote an entire importing plugin. Specifically for a 3D workflow. So I think Diginanigans would easily be able to say. They didn't show up today, but they're super active in the Discord. So yeah, just feel free to ask about it. I will ping them in. Unless you do. I feel like you should feel comfortable with that, but I'll do it if not. Yeah, because Diginanigans has been going from like Magica Voxel through like they've been taking these Magica Voxel things and importing it into the engine, and they've tried so many different things, but I think they've settled on their own plugin that handles the import process. So I'm sure they would be happy to explain what they're doing. Or even just link you to the plugin and you could take a look. But yeah, it sounds like what you're trying to do is a lot simpler than what they were doing. All right. Okay, that should be good. I'm not going to close that again. I feel like I got lucky last time. All right, these files are good. Okay, cool. So we've split it so that now we're rendering floor, the lower half of the wall, and the upper half of the wall, and we can disable those. And so I need to decide organizationally if I only want to think about that from a rendering standpoint, or if I want those to actually be considered like organizational units. I'm not sure yet. I am not sure yet. That said, we are running out of time for today. I do have to cut it early. Oh yeah, tool scripting or something would probably be very doable there. But yeah, I gotta wrap it up here. We will be back on Friday. Sorry we're not streaming much this week. But we'll do a stream Friday, and then hopefully we'll be back to a somewhat regular schedule next week. We might drop a day here or there, but we're entering the holidays. Things are going to get crazy. You know, buckle up. Scheduling is always impossible during the last, you know, month and a half of the year, but we'll do it. We'll keep working. We'll keep shipping features, and by features I mean refactors. But yeah, this was fun. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.